Hello students, myself Trupti Patel from Arihant College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Today we are going to study ideal and non-ideal solution. Now before going to study or before studying ideal and non-ideal solution, it is related to Rawls law. So first we will understand what is the meaning of Rawls law. The Rawls law states that partial vapor pressure of any volatile component of solution is equal to the vapor pressure of the pure component multiplied by its mole fraction in the solution. Now we have already studied the Rawls law, and we know that the Rawls law P of total is equal to P10 minus P20 multiplied with x1 plus P20. So here, according to the Rawls law, x1 and x2 are the mole fractions, P10 and P20 are the vapor pressures of pure components of liquids, and P1 and P2 be the partial vapor pressures of the two liquid components in the solutions. Now with this law, with this Rawls law, with the help of this Rawls law equation, the vapor pressures of solutions having different concentrations or different mole fractions can be calculated. And Rawls law can also be stated, there's another way to state the Rawls law also. The relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to the mole fraction of the solute. Since the relative lowering of vapor pressure depends only on the concentration of non-volatile solute, so it is a colligative property. The solutions which obeys Rawls law over the entire range of concentrations are called as ideal solutions, and the solutions which do not obey Rawls law are called non-ideal solutions. Now this Rawls law has many advantages. Rawls law is most important law for studying colligative properties of solutions. And with the help of this law, the behavior of solute molecules in a solution can be well understood, and it has a wide application in the study of molecular conditions in the solutions. It is also applicable to electrolyte as well as non-electrolyte in different types of solvents. It is also applicable to volatile as well as non-volatile substances. Apart from this advantages, with the help of Rawls law, the degree of dissociation and the dissociation constant of weak electrolytes can be determined, and even distillation of liquid mixture containing volatile and non-volatile liquids can be well studied. Formulae of complexes and their stability constants can also be determined from the concentration of ions and even the ligands in the solutions. And the degree or the extent of association and the molecular formula of associated molecules can also be determined with the help of Rawls law. So students, here there are many advantages of Rawls law, but there are few limitations also. Like it can be applied only for dilute solutions. It cannot be applied to the solutions where the intermolecular forces are prominent, and it cannot be applied to a very highly volatile liquids, and also cannot be applied to a very high temperatures. So yes, it has many advantages but very little of limitations. So in short, we can say Rawls law is most important, very important law, and this Rawls law, it is connected to ideal and non-ideal solutions. So the solutions which obeys Raoult's law over the entire range of concentrations are called as ideal solutions, and the solutions which do not obey Raoult's law are called as non-ideal solutions. So let us study ideal solutions first. Ideal solutions obey Raoult's law over the entire range of concentration. No heat is evolved or absorbed when two components forming an ideal solutions are mixed. Thus, the enthalpy of mixing is 0. We can write the equation as delta H is equal to 0. Now, this heat or this enthalpy is equal to 0. We get 0 after mixing ideal solutions. When the two components are mixed together, there is no volume change when two components forming an ideal solutions are mixed. Thus, the volume of an ideal solution is equal to the sum of the volumes of components taken for mixing. So, delta V is equal to 0. So, after mixing the two components and we get a solution. So, that time delta V is equal to 0. In an ideal solution, solvent-solute, solute-solute, solvent-solvent molecular interactions are comparable. The vapor pressure of ideal solution always lies between vapor pressure of pure component as shown in the figure. Now, while studying Raoult's law, we have stated that P10, what is P10 and P20. So P10, P20 are the vapor pressures of pure components or the liquids which we are taking. And P1, there's a Roman number 1 written, and on that line it is written P1, and above that there is P2. So P1 and P2 represents partial vapor pressures of the two liquid components in the solution. So on x-axis you can see mole fraction, on y-axis you can see vapor pressure, and the values for x1 and x2 are given, where x1 and x2 are the mole fractions and the ideal solution. So P total is equal to P1 plus P2. So it is important to understand that perfectly ideal solutions are uncommon, and the solutions such as benzene plus toluene behave nearly ideal. Students, just observe the diagram and try to remember the diagram. Non-ideal solutions. These solutions do not obey Raoult's law over the entire range of concentrations. The vapor pressure of the solutions can be higher or lower than those of pure components. Now, there is a deviation from Raoult's law for non-ideal solutions. So, this solutions shows two types of deviations from Raoult's law. A. Positive deviations from Raoult's law. The solutions in which solute-solvent intermolecular attractions are weaker than those between solute-solute molecules and solvent-solvent molecules exhibits positive deviation. The vapor pressures of such solutions are higher than those of pure components as shown in the figure. You can see the dotted line, it's a straight line, and the positive deviation above the dotted line. So positive deviation for P1, positive deviation for P2, and the vapor pressure, positive deviation for the vapor pressure of solution. The solutions of ethanol and acetone, carbon disulfide and acetone shows positive deviations from the Raoult's law. Second, B. Negative deviations from Raoult's law. The solutions in which the interactions between solvents and solute molecules are stronger than solute-solute or solvent-solvent interactions exhibits negative deviation. The vapor pressure of such solutions are lower than those of pure components as shown in the figure. Now you can see, students, you can see the dotted line, and the negative deviations from the Raoult's law is in the downward direction. There is a negative deviation. So for P1 also negative deviation, for P2 also negative deviation, and the total vapor pressure of the solution is also negative deviation. X-axis mole fraction, y-axis you can see vapor pressure, and the values for x1 and x2, that is mole fractions, are also given in the diagram. The solutions of phenol and aniline, chloroform and acetone exhibits negative deviations from the Raoult's law. I hope, students, you have understood ideal and non-ideal solutions. This is very easy. You just have to remember the diagram. Ideal solution, it has its point. Non-ideal solutions are divided into two parts: positive deviation from the Raoult's law and negative deviation from the Raoult's law. So positive deviation, remember the diagram, and according to the diagram write down the points. And negative deviation, remember the diagram, and according to the diagram write down the points. Thank you.